Hey everyone, just excited that you are joining me for these freezer meal workshops that I'm doing this series. Glad that I could help you plan some super easy meals, get them all in the freezer for your family, just like I'm doing. And that's the reason why I'm doing this, because I wanted to get some easy meals in the freezer so that it would be easy on nights that I'm working. I don't have to think about what do I want to cook. I just go and grab one of the bags, throw it in the refrigerator and let it thaw like overnight through the next day. And then some of them you can throw in the crock pot, some of them you can cook in the skillet or in the oven. But all of the ingredients are there, they're done, minus a few fresh ingredients that you might have to add to the recipe. And I thought, well, while I'm doing this for myself, why not share with other people to try to help you out as well. So make sure that you are commenting below. Tell me where you're from, where are you watching from, how did you find me, do you already know me, how do you know me, or did you just happen to find me online? I mean, that's really great information for me to find out, because I am curious about that. But I would just, so that I don't take up too much of your time, I'm going to keep going and go ahead and start the plan. Make sure, that's what I say every single time, because I have honestly done this and it makes it harder. So always write the recipe on the outside of your bag with a Sharpie before you put anything in the bag. One reason is it's hard to write with something in the bag. Second reason is if they're already frozen or cold when you put them in there, it makes the Sharpie write weird. So anyway, just learn from my mistakes and don't do that. So what we are making this time is winter white chili. I wrote winter. That's what happens when you talk while you're trying to write. But hey, you know what? It doesn't matter. We can just mark it out. We're going to throw that bag away later anyway. After we get done with it, after we get done eating, we're going to throw it away. So just write it on there. I have in the past done some freezer meal workshops with other people that we actually printed everything onto a one of the bigger shipping labels, and all of that was on the front. I didn't do that this time because these are really simple. I will put the recipe in the description so that you will have that recipe and you'll be able to follow it and know what to buy and all those things before you go. I would suggest doing like 5 to 10 freezer meals in one shot, and that way you've got them all done. And I broke them up into 2 different days. As you can tell when you look at my videos, you can see when I change clothes, which videos I did which day. But I would try to do them all at once, and that way you've got them all in there, you're done, don't even have to think about them for a while longer. So anyway, we're doing the winter white chili, and I can't get this open apparently. And for this one, to start out with, I am going to use the chopped onion. I'm only going to use half of this because I need it for another recipe here in a little bit, as you will see at some point. So I've already chopped up the onions because I knew you guys did not want to watch me chop up onions and vegetables and all that stuff. So a lot of this stuff I have pre-chopped. But I'm going to just use about half of this in here. Put as much onion in there as you like. This calls for 1 cup of onion chopped. But my family is not that crazy about cooked onions in their food. So I'm only putting like half a cup in there. Half of whatever was in here. This is about a cup. So I put half of it in here. I might sprinkle a little more in here because I don't know how much I need for the next recipe. So I'm going to save that for the next recipe. But put the onions in there. You need 2 tablespoons of... Let me make sure I don't need my tablespoon for something else. Everything else is 1 teaspoon. I just didn't want to put dry ingredients in on top of wet ingredients. So we need 2 tablespoons of, I'm using avocado oil. You can use avocado oil, you can use coconut oil. It calls for olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, but I have found that olive oil does not hold up for very high temperatures when you cook. So that's why I use this instead. I do use some olive oil, olive oil was really mostly designed for cold things like salad dressings and things like that. While I have my tablespoon out, I do need 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, and I'm going to squeeze that out. You could use regular lemon juice, like out of a container. I'm probably not going to get 2 out of this. I'm going to have to get the seeds out of this too. Get my seeds out so we don't have seeds in there. Oh, well, now the seeds are in there. So, yes, you can laugh. This is the what not to do. Don't do your lemon like that. So, there we go. It'll be alright. So, see if I can get another tablespoon of lemon juice out of there. Yes, there are better ways to do this. Choose to do it the better way. Alright, we've got 1 1/2. That'll be good. These recipes don't have to be exact. Make them go to your taste. What does your family like? The next is 2 cloves of garlic. So we're going to get the garlic. And I buy already minced garlic. I'm going to have to buy some more after all these recipes. We need 2½ teaspoons of cumin. This is much healthier to make your own seasoning, put your own seasonings in like this, than to buy. I mean, you could buy chili seasoning and put this in, but who knows what they put in all of that stuff. Unless you're buying it organic. Who knows what they put in all of that. So I've got 2. I'm only going to put 2. I'm not going to put 2½ because some of my family doesn't like things quite as hot, and I'm afraid that will get it a little too hot. So I'm going to clean that off. So now we need oregano. We need 1/2 teaspoon of oregano. Make sure that you are following me on social media. I have lots of different tips and tricks that I have on some of my videos on ConnieSummy.com. Also have some other things besides just cooking and healthy eating as well. Let's see, what else do I need? This is 1/2 to 1 teaspoon of cayenne. So we're only going to do 1/2 for ours because we do not want to set my family on fire. I'm one of them. I'm one of them in the family that doesn't like all the heat. But if you like the heat, you know, you put as much or little in there as you want for your family. Cayenne is in there. And then it calls for 2 cups of chicken broth and 1 cup of water. So I am going to wait until I actually throw this in the crock pot to put the chicken broth and the water in it. I'm not going to freeze it with that in there. You can if you want to, but I'm going to wait until I thaw this out and then just dump it all in the crock pot. And honestly, this is one of those simple meals that you could probably just open up and throw everything in a crock pot. The most thing that you're going to have to do is chop up the onions. So, but what I like about doing it in the freezer meals is once all of this gets in there and it starts thawing out, it's going to marinate in those seasonings. So it's going to make the seasonings just a little bit stronger. So we also need some pepper, and I'm just going to put a little bit of this in here. It's funny, we don't normally buy this kind of pepper, but I had the boys to go to the grocery store. As you know, I have 2 teenage boys. I had the boys go to the grocery store, and this is what they came back with for pepper. So, and it's, I mean, it's great, it's awesome, but I normally don't do pepper this way, smooth at it. So I think that's enough in there. There's quite a bit in there. All right, and so now this is 1 can of chopped green chilies. So what I did, to add just a little bit of color to this, I got the diced tomatoes and green chili, and I got the mild. So I'm going to do that. And I've already drained this off. And then it says 3 cans of the Great Northern beans, and I've already drained them as well. And now we're done. Other than later add your chicken broth and your water, so when you cook it. But I'm going to go ahead and mush this all together so that all those seasonings and those onions get all in the whole mix. And you can lay these flat to freeze. You can just put them bunched up, however you want to freeze them. Depends on how picky you are about your freezer and how much space you have to. If it's better to fold it, let it freeze folded. If it's better to lay it flat, let it lay flat. But now all of these seasonings are all mixed in, and this is going to be so good when it thaws out and we stick it in the crock pot. So there is the white winter chili. You can also do chicken in this if you wanted to chop up chicken and put this in here as well. It will cook in the crock pot along with the beans, but this one is meatless. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you on the next one.